Welcome to the latest version of DataGows. If you've watched our previous videos, a lot of this will look familiar, but I'm going to show you some new features and take our new subscribers through the process. You've got your clients table so that I can show you how the task tables populate. Active clients are going to pull through to these tables. You've got a table for EMP 201, and currently this tracks the payroll process straight through to EMP 201 submission. You've got financials and income tax, which is for registered entities, and it automatically populates for any registered entities that are required to submit financials. But if you have a sole proprietor, for example, that needs financial statements, you are able to add them to the task table manually. Then we've got a income tax individuals table that automatically populates your directors, CC members, and individuals and sole proprietors to this table in order to track their personal tax submissions. We then have a table for provisional tax returns, and currently this is also set to only populate for registered entities. I think I will include a column later on for individuals that are still registered for provisional tax so that you can indicate it there and it will populate them too. It does populate 2 periods in advance. And then we have a table for SARS tasks, and this is to help you keep track of a number of SARS tasks that require collecting documents and then uploading them to SARS. I will show you how that works. And then we have the Vat Returns Table, which allows you to track the VAT return process up to submission and including verification. You are also able to sort on every single column as well as filter. So if you're looking for someone specific, rather than flipping through every page, you can quickly bring them up. If you want to filter on accountant to see whose clients are theirs, you can filter on their name, etc. So if we go to accounting, you will see that only the active accounting clients have pulled through. Whether or not there's bank statements and how the bank statements are received is populated, and it is scheduled automatically for you based on where we are in the calendar. It will go back to the previous month as well as give you a due date of the 15th of the current month, because that's kind of when we want the accounting to be done, and you can then track it from there based on how the process has gone. So obviously bank recon would imply that the bank has been received and processed and allocated, and it balances. Customer invoices, supplier invoices, have journals been raised, and then should income statements and balance sheets be produced. And then something really cool that we've added is a archive table to the accounting and subsea annual returns tasks. We're going to roll out for every single task table, but those are the 2 that are there now. If you have completed a specific task and you mark the status as completed in the accounting table, when you click save, if you see that this is Mark, if you click save, Mark is no longer in the active accounting task table. However, he is in the archive accounting table. All the ticks will stay there and it clears it from your active client list. The subsea annual returns will populate according to the registration date of a company. It will populate the closest date. So anything with a December date would have been 2021. Currently in this set of data there are none, but you can see that the next annual return is January and it's populated accordingly. Likewise, once you have submitted and paid the annual return, you would change the status to completed, click save, and that company is no longer there, but it is in the archive table. For both of the archive tables, should you accidentally select completed on a task and it was not yet completed, you would just need to change the status from overdue or started, and it will leave the archive table and pop back up to the active table. So you can undo that selection. Subsea tasks, we are adding to this list all the time, but currently you are able to click on add record and select the task that we've created. Currently we have these 3 available. The client that it is applicable to, you can assign it to somebody and basically begin the progress. So if you click on save and edit, you'll see that it pops up here in the background, but also now there's a heading for subsea subtask. And if you click on that, you will see the list of steps needed in order to complete a name change. You can give it a description and select the date on when it was requested, received, and then uploaded. And then what it's going to do is once you say uploaded, it will do a day counter for you. And Subsea is set to calendar days so that you can see if, for example, you have lodged a company registration, you know you've got 10 days to respond. This little day counter is going to help you, if you're waiting for something and you can't submit it yet, it's just going to help you stay within that deadline. The EMP 201 table has pulled through everyone that we selected payroll for, and it's populated the closest payroll period that we're in, which is currently going to be December. The due date is obviously for the EMP 201 return that is populated here, but you can track the payroll to some extent. So the Payroll Recon, whether or not you've sent it to the client, and then have you submitted the EMP 201, have you sent it to the client, and has it been paid? And again, you can select the status as completed. Under financials and income tax, we've added quite a few new columns from the first rollout. So again, this will schedule around the year end of a company so that it is due 12 months from year end. Obviously, that's lastminute.com, but that is the maximum due date. And it will schedule 6 months prior to that for you. And here you can just go through the process, whether or not you have received all the schedules that you need, and then if you've submitted the income tax return, what type of return it was, whether or not it was a payment, income tax owing, or a loss for the company, or a null or dormant return. And you can also mark if there's been a IT14 SD requested by SARS. Okay. Under income tax individuals, here, like I said, directors, CC members, and individuals will populate, and you can track the basics of an income tax return, whether or not you've received the schedules that you need, what type of return it was, payment or refund or null, whether or not it was paid, if there was a verification, and if they're not a provisional taxpayer or not. So that would be a reminder for you, but I will set it up to populate automatically. Provisional tax returns, these are, like I said, for registered entities automatically populated. Again, around their due date, their year end is then populated 2 returns for you, the closest one to the year end, as well as 6 months in advance. You can carry on through the process from there. We have the VAT returns. This has populated according to whether or not VAT was true or false, as well as which VAT type was selected. So a monthly, the period would be November. That would have been the most recently completed period. The odd vendors in this exercise are going to show because that is the latest return. So even vendors, because we've uploaded today, will not populate because it's assumed that your October VAT returns were already declared, and it's not going to show you the December return yet because it's not a completed month, so that this list is not incredibly long. Okay. You can then go through the process of a VAT return there. Then we've got the SARS tasks. We've added quite a few new ones here. If you click on Add Record, you will see that we have individual income tax verification, registration for e-filing, updating a public officer, and a VAT return verification. Okay, public officer, you will all know, has been a very painful process, but needs to be done. So over here, you will click and have a method of tracking it. Okay, and if you click Save and Edit, similar to the SIPC tasks, you will now see SARS subtasks. This is the list of documents required to register a public officer for a company, and you can then track it from requested, received, and uploaded. The uploaded is once you've submitted it to SARS. This day counter is now linked to working days, and will count for you in working days, so that once you've submitted something to SARS in the SARS tasks, you know when those 21 working days have prescribed, so that you can follow up with them and escalate if you have not received feedback. So that is a really cool addition that we've made there. That is that.